Good morning, everybody. Thursday, the 29th of October, and here's today's market update. Last night in the US, we saw the markets going up again. We saw the Dow up 1.1% and the Nasdaq up 1.3%. The tech stocks, which you know that I like to talk about every morning, being Facebook, Google, Apple, and Microsoft, were all up again. The winner being Apple, up 4.1%. Which more than makes up for the 3.1% loss which it suffered a couple of days ago. As you know, I'm a big fan of Apple, and the reason why it did so well was because the profits were better than expected, and the market seemed to like it, despite Tim Cook's comments that he thought maybe Q1 next year iPhone sales will slow. So again, just to reiterate my point, the four of those you would have made 1.4% on. The Nasdaq made 1.3. Once again, they're outperforming the market. So, get your exposure there. On the currency side of things, we still have a very, very strong US dollar. And more to the point, we have a weak euro. So it's 1.09 now, less than 110, the dollar euro. Despite Super Mario's comments about, supporting the quantitative easing and keeping interest rates low or even lowering them, I've got to believe, purchasing euros at that level for a long-term play is going to be a good one. The dollar is strong, the euro is weak. You use US dollars to buy some euros right now. Sit back for 18, 24 months. I've got to believe you're going to be profitable. 152 US dollar sterling, again, a strong enough US dollar. But at the same time, I wouldn't necessarily make a play there because I think the US still may have some way to go. And remember, it's not unusual to see sort of sterling US sort of down in the 140s. So perhaps if it does get there, then maybe it'd be time to get involved. Japanese yen 121, fairly steady. Thai baht 35.4. So again, fairly steady. The Asian markets actually yesterday did fall a little bit. Shanghai was down 1.7% and Nikkei was pretty much flat. So perhaps there was a bit of profit taking again in China because the previous days we'd seen some nice gains. Very, very quiet on the sporting front at the moment, but one of the stories which is floating about is that possibly Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather may have a rematch. I mean, despite Floyd being adamant that he's retired, Manny's been making noises that they're in talks with Floyd's team about a rematch in April. Interesting, really. Floyd Mayweather, the highest paid athlete in the world by some distance. In fact, the Manny Pacquiao fight alone, he made $220 million US dollars, which equates to about 6.1 million US dollars every single minute. Both him and Pacquiao actually are the two highest paid athletes during 2015. Given the fact that, whilst he's a fantastically purist boxer and his skills are possibly the best that's ever been, he's not exciting to watch. So, it's a great example of how somebody has built a brand, brand Mayweather, which enables him to be able to brand Money Mayweather enables him to be able to attract the sort of money and the sort of audiences he does, despite, at the end of the day, quite often his fight is an anticlimax, and people know that, but they still pay their $50 or whatever it is to subscribe. Another interesting point, just looking at athletes, Tiger Woods, he's still the ninth highest earner in athletes around the world this year, despite only making $600,000 in earnings. He's made more than 50 million endorsements, and he's now number 334 in the world. So once again, building the brand shows that it's, for the long term. So finally, just a couple of little things to think about. Again, pensions, as you know, making sure that you're comfortable when your income from your employment stops is essential, and we urge you to speak to us or to speak to a financial advisor in order to make sure that that's safe and sound, because the average retirement these days is 25 years. You know, that's a long time. You need to make sure you're safe, and the last thing you want in your twilight years is to be worrying about money. And finally, a quote for the day, and this comes from Donald Rumsfeld. Donald, as we all heard of, is a relatively controversial character in some of his political positions that he's held, especially being Secretary of Defence in the Iraq War. But prior to that, he was a very successful businessman, being CEO of pharmaceutical companies and also obviously Princeton and a very smart guy. And one of his comments is, think ahead, don't let day-to-day operations drive out planning. Now, they couldn't be more apt really in my industry, because one continuous challenge we face is clients or potential clients too busy in their day-to-day job to think about their future. But the time it takes to sit down with someone, 2 hours, 3 hours, there's 24 hours in a day, take that time, get it done. And then when it's done, it's done. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, Friday tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Bye.